Well, good evening. It is the 10th of August, 2021. I usually do these during the day, but I'm doing this one tonight because I'm in the pretrial processing, we should say, for the possibility of being employed as a magistrate. But be that as it may, that is not what this video is about. Actually, I do them on law enforcement jobs, and this one is on a law enforcement job that is open. But it's one that none of you probably are qualified for or interested in. But I'm doing this to make a point. Okay, I'm doing it to make a point. And I hope that this video goes viral. That is my hope. Okay, so if you like this, I don't do political videos. I don't do Republican videos. I don't do Democratic videos. I do videos that are pretty much based on, what I think of an agency. But when I see political behavior that is atrocious, when I see double standards, when I see an abuse of power, I think it's my job, my function, my God-given right to call attention to that. So let me do that, and then I'll talk about it. Okay, as I said in the intro, this is a job that came out yesterday on USAJOBS.gov. It's a position for a general attorney, no big deal, a trial attorney for the legislative branch of government. They usually don't advertise on USA Jobs. The U.S. Capitol Police. That's kind of interesting, but of course it's a big agency. They need attorneys, okay? And it closes the 10th of September. They're going to be making $140,000 to $173,000 a year. It's a permanent assignment. Whoa! The vacancy, there's a few vacancies in San Francisco, California. And this is where my antenna came up, the light bulb came on, because the Capitol Police work on Capitol Hill. Why the hey would they be in San Francisco? Well, okay, this tells you a little bit about the Capitol Police. And it says here, the purpose of this position is to serve as a special assistant United States attorney located in the U.S. Capitol Police District Office in San Francisco. Now, why the hell would they have to be there? Well, the Speaker of the House lives in San Francisco. Okay, what will they do? They report to the U.S. Capitol Police Deputy and General Counsel, but the position will work under the supervision and authority of the U.S. Attorney's Office, and the purpose of the position is to represent the U.S. government, prosecuting individuals or groups who have engaged in threats or acts of violence against members of Congress, their staffs, Capitol Police employees, visitors to the Capitol complex, facilities and properties within the Capitol complex. Other duties include prosecutes federal crimes, develops and recommends strategies, works closely with the U.S. Capitol Police, law enforcement agencies, witnesses, victims, conducts investigations, preliminary hearings, so on and so forth. So what this person will be doing is prosecuting people who have made threats against the Speaker of the House. She's the only one that lives there. Okay? Now, first of all, let's get this straight. I have no ill will toward the Speaker of the House. I wish her well as a person. I may disagree with her on politics, but I don't want any harm to come to her. I believe that she should have protection by the Capitol Police. But it's one thing to have protection. It's another thing to have your own prosecutor. Okay? I don't know of anyone who has their own personal prosecutor to go after people who have perhaps engaged in threats against them. Okay? I was threatened as a DEA agent, and I took it to the U.S. Attorney. I didn't have a prosecutor assigned to Hallandale, Florida, to work on me alone. That does not happen. Now there's a separation of powers issue because the legislative branch really can't prosecute cases. And here you have a legislative branch attorney working as a prosecutor, which is the function of the executive branch. Okay, and that's one abuse. But the real abuse, again, is that they're assigning someone as a personal prosecutor, essentially, to prosecute threats that are made against the Speaker of the House. Now, I will say it, I've said it before, I've said it again. Anyone who threatens a member of Congress should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And the United States Attorney is the proper prosecuting office. However, each member of the House or Senate cannot have their own prosecutor. Just like every citizen does not have their own prosecutor. Now, if you live in San Francisco, well, if you own a business, your property can be pretty much ransacked and shoplifted, and you won't get a prosecutor. That's just tough toenails. That's tough beans. You have to lump it. But if you are Nancy Pelosi, you don't have to lump it. Okay? You don't have to lump it because you have your own prosecutor. And this is the problem. Okay? A lot of these folks are leading the charge for defunding the police, and we're going to do this to the police and we're going to do that to the police. But they love the police and the prosecutors who are protecting them. And that's why I say the jobs folks are in these protective services, these Praetorian guards for these elites. Whether it's the Secret Service expansion, whether it's the Capitol Police expanding by 2000, and now by the Capitol Police hiring prosecutors to specially prosecute cases for threats against members of Congress in San Francisco, of whom I know there is only one, that's the Speaker of the House, and also special agents out there as well to develop criminal investigations that go beyond bodyguard duty. So maybe you don't think this is a problem. Maybe you think this is perfectly fine. I don't, And I would be just as angry if a special prosecutor was assigned to Donald Trump, because he gets a lot of threats. A lot of people don't like him. And that's fine if you don't like him, but you can't threaten him. But if he is threatened, the Secret Service takes the case to the United States Attorney, and they decide whether to prosecute. He does not have a special prosecutor who follows him around and does his bidding. So, maybe you think this is fine, maybe you don't. What I would like you to do is share this as widely as possible. And that's about it. I mean, in the last couple of days, again, I've gone through an interview process to become a magistrate in the Commonwealth of Virginia. It's not my job or my desire to put out political things. But I mean, certain things really, really reek of injustice. A lot of people in major cities feel not protected by their state attorneys or the U.S. attorney. They feel that these people are releasing criminals into poor working neighborhoods, into impoverished neighborhoods, and basically, they don't feel any pang of conscience. They feel they're actually doing someone good. And I suppose if you live in these communities, you're pretty much going to be fending for yourself. Okay, and I don't have a problem with fending for myself. I think I can fend for myself. But a lot of people can't. And I think the Capitol, the U.S. representatives and senators, they have an absolute right to good protection. But to put special agents in your hometown to investigate threats against you, and to put a prosecutor there because the U.S. attorney won't take the case, a special prosecutor funded by the Capitol Police, I think it's an abuse of power. Maybe you think I'm crazy, and if you think I'm tripping, you think been up too late, go ahead and write that in the comments. I can take it, okay? But if you think this is an abuse, I think this is something that should be elevated. I think if people in the media did know about this, maybe it would stop. Maybe it would stop. Maybe it wouldn't. Maybe we're too far down the drain, But God save the United States, and I thank God for all of you who are willing to stand up and do what needs to be done, because being a police officer or a federal agent right now is harder than ever. So I am thankful for you. I'm thankful for your kind comments. And have a good evening.